you tell us a little bit about the character and what you liked about the concept?
First of all, I love the show. I'm very passionate about it. I'm very excited about it, so forgive me if I just spew when you ask me questions. So the show, is the quarantine story where the outbreak comes, and to prevent it from spreading, they lock down the city. And my character is a law enforcement officer who gets stuck on the wrong side of the border. And it causes him to sort of freak out when it happens because, he works for the government. He's thinking, when this happens, hey, I was doing my job. I should be let back through. There's no logic to me being trapped on the other side. And his temper flares up, which is, one of his character traits. And we get to see that very early on. So we know that going into the story, and this is a guy who, if he's pressed into a corner, he's going to sort of lash out. But you also you can tell that this guy and in his core is a good person. His morals are in the right place. He's just now put in a situation that is so unfamiliar to any of us. So rarely in life do we actually go into survival mode where it's a matter of life or death. I've never experienced it, and most people I know have never experienced it. And to think of that, where you have a massive group of people locked in a proximity together with a deadly disease that's just slaughtering people mercilessly, it's going to cause people's worst qualities to come out. It's just inevitable. But also it's going to cause, after the dust is settled, it's going to cause their true nature to shine through, and you're going to see people step up in ways that are completely unexpected, as you see with all disasters in the world. And at its core, that's what the show's really about, is the beauty of humanity, and also its nature to, try to preserve and protect and restore equilibrium even in the worst circumstances. And the character, he's complicated. He's polarizingly different than what I've just come from on Vampire Diaries. Literally,
no wedding killings this time.
Not that I've seen in the scripts yet. But you never know. The show is young.
You did say you had a temper.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
How much of the Dungeon story or show did you watch, know about?
I've seen their whole first season. I saw it before I'd even gone in and read for it. And I'd read the script, and part of being convinced that this was the role of all the scripts that I read for pilot season, that this was the role I needed to attack, was watching the Belgian show. Not that our show is that show, but as a model and as sort of a base of the kind of storytelling we were setting out to do. Seeing the character's arc and sort of seeing what he goes through in their version of the show, and knowing that we were going to do something similar, my thought was, if that character is anything as complicated as the Belgian version, then there is no better role for me. This is it. Then it was. I was so lucky that I actually came out with the role, because it's so rare that we actually get the parts that we jump through hoops for. But I was so passionate about it. I'm so thrilled to have it.
So is your character a hero?
Yeah.
Hero?
Yeah. You're gonna. It's the kind of thing where it might take a while. I think of him that way when I think of just who he is in his court, and how he acts in the beginning of the story. You see his goodness. You can just feel that he actually has it in him. But because of his life circumstances and what he's been through in his life, he's guarded, and he's doesn't like to say more than he has to. And his nature is not to lead. He's not a leader, just by default. And so he's going to have to choose to step into that role. But he's definitely a hero. He's got it in him, and we just have to watch how it's going to come out.
What's it like staying in the Julie Plec family?
It's the best. There's no better. Julie is fantastic to work with, and so such a visionary woman, and so creative. And talking to her about the show early on, it didn't require much pitch for me. Beyond Julie Plec and then reading it, I was like, well, that's done. There's nothing else out there that's gonna do anything close to this for me. I love working with her. She's a good friend of mine now, and it's sort of a dream come true.
I was wondering if the conversation was like, "Hey, we're going to kill Kai. By the way, we want you on Containment."
No, it would be nice if that was the story. And it's not that obviously that she didn't want me for the role, or that I wasn't. Once we were in the process, that she knew my work, as did the network and the studio. But I still felt like I had to sort of show that I could do something, because it's so drastically different than the other role. And once they've seen you as one thing, sometimes it's hard to convince them that you can truthfully embody someone so totally different. So I worked my butt off and went in and said, "Hey, here's my version. What do you think?" And I was lucky enough that it worked out.